on. Ladies and gentlemen, please go welcome the wonderful Spaeth! Go on!
I am Ellen. I study clinical psychology and music. Wow. Well, I usually get 3 reactions. One of 3 reactions. That's not usually it. First one, clinical psychology and music. Is that a thing? No, it's not. It's a joke. 2, wow, cool. I wish my PhD was that. I wish that was my job. You don't know, because I don't have any funding. I have another job, so thank you, but no. And 3, psychology. Does that mean you know what I'm thinking? And you'd be surprised the amount of times I've actually heard people say that. So I've been thinking, there must be a reason. And I've decided I think it is a conspiracy from careers advisors across the world. You must have had a school careers advisor. If not, picture this. 15-year-old you walks into your one and only meeting with your careers advisor. It is the most important day of your life to date. Your destiny, your future are to be decided by this one person. It's like the sorting at Hogwarts. For those of you who haven't read, watched, heard about Harry Potter, basically you sit in a chair and your future is decided for you by a magic hat. So it's like that, but without a hat. So you sit down and you look nervously at your careers advisor. Let's call him Mr. Future. And he looks at you, and you look at him, and he says, "So, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And so you reach down into your backpack, you unclip it, you pull out this beautifully cut out corner of a newspaper with one section lovingly encircled in green highlighted pen. You hand it over. And he looks at you and he reads, "Psychics wanted. Flexible working hours. No experience necessary. For more information, see Susie in the craft shop." You smile hopefully. And he looks at you, Mr. Future, and he says, "Well, I'm sure she didn't mean no experience. I mean, you'll need a psychology degree to be a psychic." Everybody needs a university degree, right? No? Well, I didn't do a psychology degree. I did something much more practical. I went away to do a music degree. But here I am doing psychology anyway, so I don't know if that says something about destiny. My motivation was not because I wanted to read minds. It was not because of a wise man called Mr. Future. It's because of my dad. And according to me, my dad is the coolest, cleverest person in the world. At least I thought that when I was 6. Still do, kind of. And to me, he was just the coolest guy ever. He had a PhD. He was a university lecturer, and he was obviously very clever. And I decided that these giant glasses that he wore must be what was making him clever. A bit like Frosty the Snowman, who's a perfectly normal snowman until he gets this hat put on his head, and then he's like this human. Not really sure how that works, but clearly magic hats are what it's all about today. And so, I decided that I wanted to be a university lecturer. For that, I needed a PhD. For that, I needed to be super, 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 super clever. For that, I needed those glasses. I needed them, but unfortunately, I had perfect eyesight. It's okay, I had a plan. I was a very, very cool kid. So I got some of those kind of fake, well, not fake, just plastic sunglasses. And I wore them around school, and I popped the lenses out so I looked super authentic. But I didn't look any smarter. I wasn't any smarter. And the other kids at school didn't have the same definition of cool as I did. So that wasn't working. So I had to think and decided I would just get glasses for real. So I faked really terrible eyesight. Got sent to the eye hospital in Glasgow and maintained that I couldn't read these vehicle-sized letters. And I thought I'd been really convincing. I was so pleased with myself. And then they sent me home with a magnifying glass. And I was so cross. I thought, you know, they've set me up for a career as a detective, not as an academic. So, I was not impressed about this. So I had a big think, small snack, then a snooze. And I decided that there was an alternative. It was not a pretty alternative, but it would just have to be done. I was going to have to work hard in school. I was going to have to be clever without the glasses, and get a PhD anyway. Wasn't really looking forward to that. I was going to have to work like a fiend. I was going to have to work super hard. But then, fortunately, during my master's, my optician told me that, in fact, I did need glasses. So in the end, it worked out fine. I have no idea what I would be doing right now without these guys. So just to be clear, studying psychology does not make you psychic. Well, it doesn't make me psychic. So what I research is clinical psychology, which is mental health, and music, you know, music. Let's call it music psychology, it's less of a mouthful. And it's basically about how listening to music can help you if you're feeling anxious. So the gist of it is, if you're feeling anxious, don't listen to death metal. Listen to Mozart. Unless you don't like Mozart, then listen to death metal. It's good, right? Snappy. Unfortunately, I don't really know how to fit it into 100,000 words. But fortunately, I've got a couple of years to do that still. I'm pleased about that. Now, even with my magic glasses, doing a PhD is a fairly stressful experience. But as you've just heard, fortunately, my research is about how listening to music can make you less stressed, more calm, less anxious, more serene. And as such, I have unlocked the secret to life, and should be the calmest, most chilled person in the whole world. Am I? That's cruel. No, I'm not! So I'm sitting, just doing my thing, listening to some Mozart. I do like me some Mozart. And I'll go, ooh, that's interesting. I wonder what that was. That'd be really useful in my PhD. I wonder what it was. And I'll go around singing it for days, tapping strangers on the shoulder and singing at them and asking them if they've heard of it. I've still got a few up there just now, so I'll talk to you later. That's it. Does that sound relaxing to you? Does it? No, it is not. And now I have this odd fear relationship thing going on, this anxiety between my PhD, the brain-addling anxiety of a PhD, and listening to beautiful, pretty music. Death metal it is then!